So one of the important questions, or one of the most sought after question for PR applicants is, can they change the job while their PR application is in process? So in this video, we will try and answer this question. In this video, let's try and answer the question of whether a person or an applicant whose PR application is in process, can he or she change jobs? Okay, so the this question is mostly sought of persons who are candidates who are already working in Canada. So to work or to have a job in Canada, you need a documentation or a authorization to stay and work in Canada. That goes without saying. Some of the authorizations are very normal, like a citizen or a person who's already a PR. But in this video, we will talk about somebody who is working in Canada as a temporary worker and whose PR application is in process. So if your PR is already done, you probably might not be interested in this particular video. So to have a job or to work in Canada, there are few options of work permit. The first option is obviously a postgraduate work permit, which is offered to the students. The next option is an open work permit, which is offered to mostly a spouse of a work permit holder, or there are a few other conditions under which an open work permit is allowed. So I'll put a screenshot here on the conditions on which an open work permit can be given. Okay, and the third and the most common section of candidates who ask this question are those on a closed work permit. So closed work permit is one of the most popular work permits in Canada, which means that there are conditions written on a closed work permit. So something like this. See a screenshot here. So if you have a closed work permit, it most probably you cannot change your employer, and depending on the conditions, you might not be able to even change your location. Okay, so there are restrictions related to closed work permit. Now let's discuss on changing of jobs under all these work permit. A PGWP is essentially an open work permit. So yes, you can change the job. An open work permit, as the name suggests, is open. So there are no conditions, and yes, you can change the job under an open work permit. So here your PR application in process doesn't have that much impact. Now, if you have a closed work permit, then by default you cannot change your job. Okay, you cannot change your job, but Ircc allows certain pathways for people who have a closed work permit to change the job. Now, although that is a very narrow window, but still there is a window that exists. Now, so there are few conditions under which you can change job while working on a closed work permit. Okay, so if I talk about the conditions, so first is obviously your PR application should be in process, right? And by PR application in process means that you have created a profile and you have received a AOR. Okay, so that is the first and the foremost condition that under which you can change your job. Now, how this happens? Once you apply for an AOR, you can apply for something called a bridge open work permit. Now, this is another type of work permit which is available for people who have already received their AOR to have a bridge open or to change their job. So once you receive your AOR, you can change your you can apply for a bridge open work permit, and once you get your bridge open work permit, you can change the job. Now, bridge open work permit, however, comes with certain restrictions. Okay, first, your status, right? So you should already be on a closed work permit or a employer specific work permit. So that is one thing that has to be satisfied. Number two, as I said above, AOR. Okay, so which means that just ITA or a PNP nomination might not be enough. You should have a AOR, or just having an express entry profile also doesn't matter. So if you have just created a profile and you want to apply for a bridge open work permit, no, the only thing is AOR. So I'll put a screenshot here on the eligibility of AOR, of the bridge open work permit, so you guys can have a look. So these are the conditions, and number three is condition is bridge open work permit has a limited purpose. What this means is that for any reason, if your PR application is cancelled, your bridge open work permit or your work permit status will also be cancelled, right? So you will fall out of status if your PR application is cancelled. On the other hand, if you were say under a closed work permit, right, and your closed work permit is say valid for 3 years, right, and your PR application is cancelled, you can still continue working till your end of your closed work permit status, and you might also reapply for your PR, right? So these are the conditions under which, if your PR application is in process, you can apply for a AOR, or you can apply for a bridge open work permit and then change your job. But the only and the foremost condition is that you should have your AOR. This is the most important condition. Without this, you will not be able to apply for a bridge open work permit. Even though it's a limited purpose, but still it can help you change jobs while your PR application is in process. Okay, however, while changing job, I would suggest be safe out there. Make sure you have your job offer lined up, and any kind of documentation from your last employer, right? Make sure you have all those lined up, right? And if you are changing location or changing job, changing address, location, inform IRCC. So you can do that via a web form. So keep IRCC in loop of any changes that is happening after your bridge open work permit, or any conditions of your job changes. This helps in the long run to keep things in order. Okay, so I hope this video has cleared some of the questions that many people have asked me, that whether I can change jobs while waiting for a PR. So yes, if I need to give a yes or no answer, it's yes, but it is subject to certain conditions. So yeah, so thank you everybody for listening in, and if you have any other questions, shoot out to me and I will try and answer those, and see you in the next one. Thank you.